40% of the kids said that they felt unsafe to walk. That's horrific. What kind of community are we living in? This has got to change. Rebecca Wu, our Public Affairs Officer, FBI St. Louis Division, is our next speaker.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being out here tonight to support, to show your support, and also thank you to all the distinguished guests as well. The men and women of the FBI, we offer our condolences to the families and friends of all the victims in Atlanta. Know that our FBI office in Atlanta is offering all resources and assistance needed by the local authorities that are leading the investigation there. We really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you for the organizers to invite the FBI to speak to you tonight. Again, my name is Rebecca Wu. I am the spokesperson for FBI St. Louis, but I also coordinate community outreach for our office. And over the years, I've had the opportunity to meet a number of the Asian American community leaders here. The head of FBI St. Louis, Special Agent in Charge, Richard Quinn, regrets that he cannot be here tonight. He's actually out of town at a previously scheduled event, but he asked me to please convey 2 important points. And number 1, it's the role of the FBI when it comes to investigating hate crimes. When it comes to criminal civil rights violations, that's the umbrella term. But under that umbrella, there are different types of criminal civil rights violations. And the FBI has made investigating hate crimes the top priority of that category. And the reason is because when someone commits a hate crime against an individual or a house of worship, it's not limited to just that victim. It's really an attack on an entire community. And because the FBI has made investigating hate crimes a priority, each of our 56 FBI field offices have dedicated special agents who specialize in investigating hate crimes. And joining me tonight is one of our special agents, Special Agent Matt Brumman. Matt, can you raise your hand? He's here tonight. If you have questions, please come up. We'll be up here after the vigil to answer any questions, if you would like to do that. And so while the FBI considers hate crimes or makes investigating hate crimes a top priority, the FBI also believes that hate crimes are underreported. And so here's the second important part. It's a call to action to all of you to please spread the word. If you are a victim of a hate crime, if you know of a victim of a hate crime, or if you've witnessed a hate crime, to please contact law enforcement. Now, contact your local police department first if the threat is still imminent. But once the situation has stabilized, to please contact the FBI. I'm hoping you all by now know the FBI tip line. It's 1-800-CALL-FBI. And don't worry about taking notes. We actually have handouts here at the table that you can come. So please come by the table after the vigil because we have handouts and information as well. The FBI is responsible for upholding the Constitution of the United States and to protect all American people. And when the FBI says all American people, it means every individual physically in this country. You do not have to be a citizen to be protected by the FBI. So when you call our 1-800-FBI number, and if you do not speak English, that is okay, because the FBI, we have translators who can help. So once again, thank you all for being here, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Rebecca. Remember, if you hear something, if something happened to you, it needs to be reported. Otherwise, it's just didn't happen. Our last speaker, Judge Judy Draper, Honorary Consul, Republic of Korea.
Too. Okay. 안녕하세요. Good evening, everyone. My name is Judge Judy, not that one, uh, Draper, and I am the Honorary Consul for the Republic of Korea. I won't talk long because I know we are close to the end, so first I want to thank all of the organizers of the much-needed vigil tonight. Thank you also to Min Liu, who I understand is traveling, and Caroline Fan. It's great to see a lot of old friends and the speaker standing up for good. Great to see Senator Shoup and Sam Alton, who happens to work with my daughter, who's also a prosecutor in St. Louis County. Thank you to my husband, your Missouri Supreme Court Justice, for always supporting the Asian American community. Thank you, George. As an honorary ambassador to the Republic of Korea, Korea shares the grief and mourns the recent killings in Atlanta of Asian American women for what appears to be a senseless and vile attack on Asian women. There have been 3,795, and probably more than that, Asian American hate incidents since last March of 2020, during when the pandemic first started, to February 28th of this year. 503 of those incidents have been from just this year, January to the end of February. 4 of the women, as you know, were Korean. As a biracial woman of Korean and African descent myself, I too have had the challenges of discrimination simply because of how I look. My first encounter of hate violence against an Asian woman was with my own mother when I was 8 years old in Sacramento, California. These hate crimes didn't just start with the pandemic. My mother and I were walking on the sidewalk hand in hand, and a group of children and young teenagers picked up rocks and threw them at my mom and me and screamed over and over, "Go back to China, go back to China, you chinks." That's what they said. I promised myself on that day that when I grew up, that I would protect my mother from such violence, since I was too small to help her at that time. There are approximately 119,000 Asian Americans living in Missouri, with the majority living right here in St. Louis. I'm praying that Missouri does not become a center of attention for any kind of oppression or violence against any Asian American individual or communities. I thank you again, and let us all pray for healing and peace for the families who have lost their loved ones in Atlanta. Lastly, I am wearing a red poppy pin that my daughter Chelsea, who's a young prosecutor for the county, gave me. It's a symbol to remember those who lost their lives in conflicts around the world and those who have been killed as a result of terrorism. I hope all of you will find a poppy to honor and remember the Asian women who were violently killed. Thank you, and stay safe.
Thank you, Judge. Before I close up, we'd like to acknowledge 2 distinguished guests, Judge George Draper and Alex Lee from AACC. All right, does everyone have your candle? Did we hand out all the candles? We're good? Okay. So I want to say thank you to all of the wonderful speakers and all of the stories and all of the stats. I hope you walk away knowing more than you did when you first came here. And I mean, the numbers grew as our speakers spoke. So this is absolutely wonderful that we're all here. I want to end the evening by saying the victim's name one more time. As I say their names, if your candle is not lit, please light them. If you don't have a lighter, a volunteer will come to you. Soon Park Hyun Grant, Sunja Kim, Young Yi, Sao Chiet Tan, Dao Yu Feng, Delana Ashley Yan, Paul Andre Michaels. Please bow your head for a moment of silence in remembrance of the lost but never forgotten victims of the Atlanta shooting. We'll now have a moment of silence. You may now open your eyes. This is the end of the vigil. Please place your candles at the table in front of you as you leave to your cars. And I really want to say how grateful we are to have this community and how wonderful that at such short notice we were able to come together so quickly. Thank you so much for being here, and please have a safe journey home. Thank you.
Okay.